Hello, everybody. We are the Geeks and Degenerates. I am Menzo. This is my forever co-host, Jum, and today we celebrate. Oh my goodness, it's been 20 years. We celebrate Star Wars Clone Wars, the 2D animated show that came before Revenge of the Sith. And yeah, I know it's been it's been a long time. I am
Yes.
I am pretty old. Uh,
No.
but yeah, I remember subconsciously watching this and not even registering that, oh, this belongs to a bigger franchise. How about you?
No, I only watched this like recently when I started binge watching Clone Wars. Because they were like, oh, there's this animated version that's like 2D before Clone Wars 3D version came out. And it came out around 2003. And it was the same animators who did Samurai Jack,
Yeah,
Powerpuff Girls,
Dexter's Lab.
Dexter's Lab. Yeah, so I was like, what? Okay, I'll give that a shot. And what a fucking ride this was.
Right.
It's like 25 episodes of pure bliss. I'm like,
Yeah. I think as I was growing in the Star Wars fandom, this was the very first time where I was like, you know what, the clones, they are pretty cool. Because, like, they are the Black Ops, especially their Black Ops squadron of just, like, special troopers just going in, not even speaking, just,
doing this.
yeah. So,
You know, I'm like, I get when you hear ARC troopers, you know that's the real deal. Like, if you see
Yeah.
like a regular shiny, like walking around, you're kind of just like, okay. But when you see someone a little bit decorated, I'm like,
yeah,
it's about to go down, or like we're gonna be okay. You know?
yeah. I know they don't really give the red one a name, but in my heart and mind, that is Captain Rex.
Rex.
Yeah,
Yeah. Same here. I was like, before Captain Rex became like a concept.
yeah,
I think that was his like thing.
yeah.
Like that was him.
Definitely. And they're just so cool. Like, again, like, the music's so cool, the animation is just on point, and their actions are just like, why aren't they taken more seriously in the movies? I don't understand. That never
Yeah.
really made sense to me as a kid. I was like, why don't you guys like the clones? Did you see the Jedi cut through them? I was like, did you see them cut through the Jedi? Excuse me?
Dude, like they pretty much exterminated the Jedi. What you talking about?
Yeah.
I like I had this talk with my girlfriend where we were. I was like telling her, I was like, oh, I was explaining to her the difference between clone troopers and stormtroopers, and I was like, stormtroopers are way better, and my girlfriend just goes on a long tangent of like, I don't know, maybe the stormtroopers aren't being trained as well. Maybe HR isn't doing a really good job in the Empire taking care of the stormtroopers. They're probably underpaid, taken away from their I'm like, where are you going with this?
I mean, HR mustn't be the best since they can't even hit 4 people in a walking carpet, so there's that.
Yeah, she pretty much, dude. Like I showed my girlfriend Star Wars for the first time, and she had so much comments with the stormtroopers. They were like, "Why are they so shit? Like, why is their armor made out of plastic?" Like, and I
What?
was like, "Cause they suck." It was like, "No, they don't suck. The Empire sucks, and they gave them wrong equipment." I was
See,
like, "So do you want Empire to win?" No. But,
see, that one just hit his head for no reason. You're like, you have a point. But yeah, like, just the way they're animated. Again, Gendy Tarkovsky's animation is so peculiar to your eyes that you're like, yeah, that definitely is his style. But like, it fits Star Wars so well that I can't see any other 2D animation fitting Star Wars. Because like, since I was a kid, I was like, it's either this one or 3D, nothing in between.
yeah. I don't know if there's anything in between, but okay.
I mean, there is Star Wars versions, but that's just like a showcase of other, like, Japanese studios or like Indian,
Yeah.
South Korean studios. I haven't finished season 2 yet, though. I have to though. I need to though. And they also gave, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the voice actors here did migrate to the 3D Clone Wars.
Yeah, except for the voice actor for Anakin.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, the voice actor for this Anakin was very close to Hayden Christensen's
Yeah,
compared to the one in Clone Wars. But I don't mind. I like both.
yeah. And like the Jedi get their shine here too. Like you get to see more of Kit Fisto before before he had an accent, because in this one you're like, I thought you were Jamaican. Why do you suddenly have an English voice?
I do not know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool though because we get scuba diver clones. We get to see like different kind of clones. You see that guy who has like the railgun on his chest.
Yeah.
I was like, what's that guy? You know?
Yeah.
And then you see the absolute goat of a pilot who pilots that one cruiser that has a dragon on its face.
Right.
Like,
That's
that
so
thing's
cool.
so fucking cool. And like you see how he flies too. Like he's like back up, and he bursts through the wall, and he's like he has like Grievous at his guns. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh man.
whoever is the pilot of that guy, I swear.
And it establishes Mace Windu as one of the most badass motherfuckers on the Jedi side. Him just punching super battle droids. You're like, Jesus Christ, you are cool.
He's not even using his lightsaber. He's just straight up just like, I'm like, yo, calm down.
I was like, you can do that? Jesus, why
Right?
doesn't he just take this to the fight with Sidious, and then he would definitely win.
Yeah. Like, again, if, like, I would say if, like, Anakin didn't get in the way, you know,
Yeah.
Mace Windu would have killed
Sidious.
Emperor very easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him just flying through like the sand, the wind machine that makes a hole in the ground, and he's like, you know what, I can do this. I can run through it. You're like, sure. Beings of metal can't stand, but you're just like, nah, I'm gonna burst full speed. Did you know he's the voice of old Kratos?
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the voice actor of Samurai Jack.
I didn't know that. I thought it was the voice actor for Jon Stewart.
Same voice actor.
Thank you. But yeah.
I think. Maybe. I might. No. I'm correct. If I remember correctly, the voice actor of Samurai Jack is the voice actor of Kratos.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it again, just seeing Mace Windu, Yoda, all throw down in Clone Wars, and during 2003 to 2005, this was just the best we had. But we took it anyway because we're like, I wanted to know more of the Clone Wars because Obi-Wan made it such a big deal in Episode 4, and you're like, yeah, what is the Clone Wars? I want to see that. And like the new additions like Asajj Ventress, like this her first appearance and she becoming a staple in Star Wars mythos. You're like, oh, that's why she's so beloved, because she starts here, gets more character growth in the 3D version, and she's again a staple beloved character, and she has such a cool introduction in that gladiator match with like weird alien creatures that obviously come from Tarkovsky's mind.
Yeah. God. And there's like a lot more designs here where it kind of. What was the name again of that Amazon Prime show? Primal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like Tarkovsky does that too. So you kind of see his style hasn't really changed, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Like we get that episode. We're not going through this
Chronologically.
Chronologically. We're just going through the best parts. But remember that, like, I think it was like around the last episode where Anakin's doing his last trial, and he meets this like furry people, and then they're being like turned into these horrible like
machines.
like monster / machine things.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is so fucked up, but it does remind me of Primal.
Yeah. Oh man,
and
Primal's fucking intense. I only saw the first few episodes, and I'm like, you know what? That is extremely intense and gross, but I am into this.
Oh god. Sorry, we're not talking about Primal. We'll probably do an episode on that one.
Yeah,
someday in the future.
Yeah. And like, of course, you get glimpses of Anakin's future with like the metal arm, him force choking that one dude. You're like, yeah. I do like the fact that they develop Anakin's character more here to show that this guy is the chosen one, but he obviously has the beginnings of the dark side when like his duel with Asajj Ventress, and he turns to the dark side a bit to defeat her, and you're like, that's exactly what Luke does. So father like son.
Yeah. What else happened? So we go from Volume 1 all the way to Volume 2. Right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we can all agree the character with the biggest upgrade ever in this show, at least, is General Grievous. Because
Yeah.
you never see him like this again. Even in the 3D version, you're like, I thought you can do with your feet, man. What happened?
Yeah, same here. And we also kind of get the why he talks the way he does. Like
Yeah.
when we first meet him here, he has a normal voice,
Yeah.
and then you see like again Mace Windu being the goat that he is, comes out swinging and crushes his
His
chest,
chest.
and you hear him go like, oh, like him coughing.
Oh, man. Well, him, he's voiced by two people. One being John DiMaggio, and the other one being Richard McGowan. He's John DiMaggio in Volume 1. In Volume 2, he's Richard McGonagall, who is the voice of Sully in Uncharted.
Ah, okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
But him taking out all the 5 Jedi in the first volume, like, if you didn't know anything about this character, like, who the fuck is he? Why is he so cool? Him crushing one guy with his feet and then tossing them to the ceiling, you're like, fuck, you are so cool. And then you see episode 3, you're like, what happened? Why?
Yeah, man. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why can't you take on what's her name again?
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
No. Red hair, red face girl,
Shakti?
Shakti.
Yeah.
It's like, why can't you take her out? Like, you nearly killed her the first time.
Right? You're like, what kind of plot armor is this? I don't understand. You also get introduced to his bodyguards, and like again, they're really under-leveled when you see them in a Revenge of the Sith. You're like, why? I don't understand. Was there a miscommunication between George Lucas and Tarkovsky? I guess we'll never know. But
Yeah.
General Grievous in both volumes is the definition of a badass. You're like, I can watch this guy all day, kill Jedi, and I'll never get tired of it.
Now, for me, the real badass here is Mace Windu. Not Mace Windu. No, Mace Windu is a badass. But it's Count Dooku, and he's like training Grievous, and Grievous like can't hold his own against him.
Yeah.
I was like, this thing just went up against 5 different Jedis, but he can't defeat Dooku.
Right?
That says a lot about Dooku.
I've always liked Dooku's voice in any iteration. And I'm glad they took this voice actor as well and brought him to the 3D realm. Because his voice is just so soothing. And you're like, you know what, if I was tempted to the dark side, I would like to get tempted by Dooku. Why not?
Sure, why not? Our Christopher Lee, sure, I'll do it.
Yeah. And the ending of this entire arc is pretty cool with the assault on Coruscant and the kidnapping of Palpatine, and it leads right into episode 3. You're like, you can just put episode 3 on Disney Plus, and you're like, yeah, the story's complete now. I can end this right here.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Now I want to watch episode 3.
Right? Just adds to the lore of Star Wars. Like, you can watch this and maybe at the same time put on the Siege of Mandalore at the same time. So when you get to episode 3, you have a more complete picture of what's happening.
Yeah. I love this this whole thing, because without this, we wouldn't know why the Clone Wars was so important and why it's named that way.
Yeah.
Like, to us, like if you watch the second episode, and then episode 2 and then episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, there's not a lot of like, oh yeah, the clones are very formidable. No, you don't feel that. You feel like, oh, they're prototypes for the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
A little bit, okay? Like that fight in what was the name of that desert planet?
Geonosis?
Geonosis. That shit was badass.
Yeah.
But yeah. You don't feel it that much though. But once you watch it, it's like, oh shit. Clone troopers were like the front line. You fucked when you encounter like an ARC trooper.
Yeah.
Like even Jedi's would fear a clone trooper, and I love that shit. And then you can see like Commander Cody here, our Rex.
Yeah.
And you could see how much time clones and Jedi have spent together fighting in a war.
Yeah.
Thus making their bond a little bit stronger. Thus kind of breaking our heart even more when you find out about Order 66. So.
Yeah. Like, I do love all these additions to the lore, just making Star Wars a bit more expansive and like inclusive with like all the the different characters coming in, you're like, yeah, this universe just feels bigger and bigger every day. And like, I like the fact that this is one of the Star Wars properties that kind of goes away from leaning towards the Jedi too much, because you see the ARC troopers and the clone troopers being badass all together, and you're like, yeah, Star Wars kind of should be more than just lightsabers and Sith versus Jedi, which I do love the lightsaber and the lightsaber Jedi and Sith mythology and the philosophy that goes into it. But I also want to see expanded roles of like, how does bounty hunting work when you're in the galaxy, when you're in space? How does the clone army work? What's the politicians of the separatist movements? Because Dooku is a separatist and he tempted a lot of families. Like, you hear that Andor was once a separatist, and you're like, I kind of want to see that story. Just all these additions just make Star Wars a bit more richer than when it first started. And it already started from a good place, but just seeing more and more additions to this rich galaxy just enhances it, is the word for it. And makes a new fans, like your girl. I'm sure she, I don't know what she is, what you're standing with Star Wars, but she is.
Oh no, she enjoyed it. I made her watch Rogue One first.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so she really liked it. She was like, oh, it's so sad and depressing. I was like, don't worry, it's not like that for the rest of them.
But yeah, it just brings in new fans, and I know this fandom gets a very, very gatekeepy, but you shouldn't be afraid of that. You should be welcome them with open arms and warm hearts, and as us fans should do the same thing of like, we shouldn't exclude newcomers, we should include them, because again, when we're all together, it makes for a better fandom, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, what do you want me to say? I was like, you kind of said everything.
Yeah, that's the perfect response, actually. Just but yeah, what would you rate Star Wars Clone Wars?
It's not perfect. It's not cohesive, I will say. It's, like, a lot of the episodes, they're very far apart from each other. They don't really continue with the flow.
Yeah.
I would say, like, if a newcomer were to watch this, they're a little bit, like, taken aback that, like, oh, I don't understand. The next episode's a little bit, like, has no connection from the last episode.
Yeah.
Which is Clone Wars in general, but it's fine.
Yeah.
But the animation's so great. The storytelling itself, in the general scope, if you know the story of Star Wars, it's really fucking good. The animation, as I said, here they made you care about the clones. But with that being said, though, with the whole episodes not really connecting and not being as cohesive as I would like them to be, I would give this one a solid 8 out of 10. It's still a good watch, and I say it's worth the watch if you're a Star Wars fan. And especially if, like, episode 2 to episode 3 didn't really, give you that feel of, like, oh, I know everything I need to know. You could watch this and be like, oh, now I know everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could watch Clone Wars, the 3D version. The one that, like, spans to 7 seasons. Trust me, it's worth your time. Watch it, please.
Definitely. I'll also give this an 8. As you said, good animation, very good characters, but really just here for like 2. But very interesting stories, even though they don't really connect. Like the one where Dooku attacks the temple and Yoda's like, alright, he's gonna pay, and you never get the payoff for that. You're like, I guess Yoda's just chill with that. Alright.
Yeah.
Sure. But in making characters cooler or a bit more expansive and introducing new characters like Grievous and Asajj Ventress, I think it does a good job, and I think this is a must watch. If you want to watch it, you can. It's like,
is it a must watch? I don't think so, but like, you get bonus shit if you do watch this.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you wanted to go through it chronologically, I think the most required one would be the 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, which again, as you said, is definitely worth sitting through. But yeah, it is a very good animated show, and yeah, about 8 out of 10. It's a pretty fun time, and again, if you're a fan of Tarkovsky's work, I'm sure you'll enjoy this. But yeah, that has been our video for Star Wars Clone Wars. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite character in this one? Or screw it. Who's your favorite Clone Wars character in general? Would that be yours, Plo Koon, Cad Bane, Captain Rex, Ahsoka? Who else am I missing? The new version of Darth Maul, who's been revamped ever since Clone Wars, the Clone Wars. But yeah. If you like our videos, please give them a like, subscribe to the channel, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. We're also on Spotify and TikTok to see our best and funniest moments, and Spotify to hear us on the go. Oh, sorry, TikTok we also react to trailers. So if you want to see our reactions to those, please give us a follow there. Individually, I am on TikTok as Zoe Does Voices. I do interesting or funny voices. I did Goofy recently, so if you like that, please give me a follow. Where can they find you?
Oh, you can find me at Geometry _ on Instagram. Oh god, I kind of like choked on my own.
Oh no.
You can follow me at JomGOM on Instagram. It is my art account.
And until the next video, we'll see you then. Bye, everybody.
So,
You just froze.
I don't know. I think I fucked up on my how I spelled my name. GEOM _ on Instagram. It is my art account.
There we go.